Welcome to the Investing Podcast, presented by Tusk Media. Now, for your early morning look at financial news and activity in audio and video form, here's the Morning Market Mimosa.
Hey everybody, this is the Investing Podcast presented by Tusk Media, and this is your Morning Market Mimosa. It's Friday, folks. We made it all the way to the end of the week. Not a great week either for the markets, but let's go ahead and celebrate anyway because we got a weekend coming up. Friday, June 17th, 2016. Before we jump into the markets, I want to remind everybody that we have Bond Week coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about bonds and fixed income investments for the entire week. So every day, we're going to hit you with a 20 to 30 minute conversation. I think you guys are going to love it. In fact, I know you're going to love it. You guys have loved everything we've done so far. Thanks for all your support, all your emails. Again, you can email us support, preferably encouragement, but also questions. Both of those things are great. We view everything as a positive. You can email us at theinvestingpodcast@gmail.com. Leave us a 5-star review. We will read it on the air, kind of as a thank you. We may even read some later in a special edition of this podcast that I'll tell you about in a few minutes. Bond Week, though, get your questions in. We're already getting some questions rolling. We really appreciate them. We will answer every question we get about bonds, even if they're silly. Let's jump in. Markets pointing negative again. We had a little bit of a rally yesterday for some gains, but things are pointing slightly down, very, very slightly. The Dow is down about 13 points in futures, S&P down about 10, the NASDAQ down about 5. So not a lot of loss being projected, but something to keep an eye on, especially given what we've seen over the last 5, 6, 7 trading days. Not been a whole lot of fun. Oil showing a rebound from yesterday. It was down sharply yesterday, hit a 5-week low yesterday. It's up 2% on a futures basis, so that's good news for oil. But again, the big story that's still looming is the Brexit and the impact on the European Union and things we might see kind of with the global economy there. That vote's coming up June 23rd. We'll talk more about that later today. One stock of note that we do want to draw your attention to, Smith & Wesson, the gun manufacturer, reported really, really strong quarterly gun sales, up 22% for the quarter, released a really strong outlook, as you might expect. I mean, if I surprised by close to 22%, I would probably have a strong outlook about things as well. But their stock is up 11% in pre-market trading. That's a really big deal, so an interesting story to keep an eye on, especially given kind of the climate we have around gun control and all those issues that are being politicized and talked about, and probably rightfully so right now. So Smith & Wesson up about 11% in pre-market. I do want to draw your attention to an emergency announcement. I mentioned yesterday that we missed a podcast yesterday, and we would make it up to you with a video and an audio podcast. We're going to do that today, folks. I guaranteed it, and I'm living up to that promise. We're going to come back later on today, and we're going to talk about two things and two things only. Number one, I'm going to give you a really quick mid-month update on the markets. If you remember, we made some predictions back on June 1st about where we thought the major U.S. indices would go. We're going to check in on that. Number two, we're going to have a panel. A little panel up here, myself, Austin the intern, who you all know and love. We're going to have John Holt, the Chief Compliance Officer, who you all don't know and hate. And we're going to have Matthew Krebsbach, a guy that you guys are going to get to know really well next week. And we're going to come up here and share our opinions on Brexit. What will happen? Will Britain leave the European Union? If so, what will the outcomes be? Some of them may be very serious, some of them may be very lighthearted, but we're going to have some fun with it nonetheless. So we will be back this afternoon for a special edition, probably going to get published around 3:30 or 4 o'clock. It'll be a quick hitter so you can listen to it on your way home. We'll also be back, as always, with the Stock Market Power Lunch in just a couple hours. We will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for being here. Hit subscribe, share with your friends, download us, delete it, re-download it. It all helps. Thanks, guys.
Tusk Media is a subsidiary of Narwhal Capital Management. Ratings and reviews of Tusk Media content are not to be construed as endorsements of opinions, analysis, or services offered by Tusk or its parent company. The opinions and predictions shared here are professional beliefs at the time of publication. We are not under duress from any of the corporate entities mentioned. This is not a solicitation to take any particular action. Although we are investment advisors, this information should not be considered investment, legal, or tax advice. We strive to be as impartial, insightful, and accurate as possible. We base our opinions, analysis, and calculations on information we believe to be reliable, but we cannot guarantee its accuracy. We can, however, guarantee that our opinions will sometimes be flat out wrong due to a variety of factors. Employees and clients of Narwhal Capital Management may or may not hold positions in the securities detailed and may or may not hold these positions in the future. A full list of all securities purchased, sold, or held during the 12 months preceding the date of this publication can be provided upon request. Unless otherwise noted, all data accessed via MarketWatch or the Bloomberg terminal. Past performance does not guarantee future results. A copy of Narwhal's Form ADV is available at the SEC's website, www.advisorinfo.sec.gov, or from Narwhal upon written request.